One last update. What's going on, everybody? My name is Wolverine, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on back to a brand new Marvel Rivals video. And yes, the folks over at Marvel Rivals have gone ahead and leaked both heroes for season number 5. We're going to talk about that as well as the latest patch notes, which are kind of a letdown. One final update before we roll into season 5, of course, on November 14th. Of course, you guys know the drill. If you do enjoy today's video, please don't forget to scroll on down, leave a like. Thank you so very much for your kindness and your continued support. And with that in mind, let's get into the news. So typically speaking, we would kick things off with the newest skin, but we'll talk about that monstrosity in just a moment. Yes, I said it. Don't at me. But the most exciting thing we can talk about first and foremost is that Marvel Rivals themselves have gone ahead and confirmed that Rogue and Gambit will be the characters for season number 5. Now, how do we know this? That's probably what you're asking. Well, if you head on over to marvelrivals.com/news and you go to the official patch notes page, the image for the latest patch notes actually features a silhouette in the background for both Rogue and Gambit. And fortunately enough, thanks to this user Johnny on Twitter, who went ahead and did a little bit of a color adjustment on that image, we can have a clear image shot of Gambit and Rogue seemingly at a picnic, which is pretty cool actually, because that is a reference to a scene from the comics. I do love that. I love that, again, it seems like the comics are always intertwined into Marvel Rivals, which, as someone who reads a lot of comics, I really do appreciate that they go that extra mile. However, guys, it's finally real. We've been debating whether or not this would actually happen, whether or not Gambit and Rogue would be our next characters, and now we have an official confirmation. Now, of course, all of that will be rolling out next week as we get closer to the official release. I'm sure we'll get an exciting trailer that features the characters and all that stuff. That should be pretty dang cool. But the most important thing we can talk about with these new images is what class are these characters going to be? This is the perfect time to leave your predictions down in the comment section below. Head on down there and leave a comment letting me know, who do you think Rogue is going to be? Is she going to be a tank? Is she going to be a support? Is she going to be a duelist? And the same thing goes for Gambit. I feel like, naturally speaking, my immediate inclination is to say Rogue should go on ahead and be a duelist and Gambit should be a duelist. But then I really start to think about it. I'm like, you know, you could probably make a very compelling case for Rogue actually being a support or a strategist character, or maybe she has some sort of a lifesteal mechanic where she's able to like steal health off of your enemies and then replenish your health. That could certainly be kind of interesting. I also could see a lot of people saying that Rogue might end up being a tank, and then Gambit would be another duelist character. And you know what? I recently talked to a friend and I was like, you know what? Gambit being a healer would be kind of interesting as well, just in the sense that maybe you could use the cards to heal your teammates or something like that, and then cause damage or some sort of a damage buff to your teammates. That could be kind of interesting. So I'm really curious to hear what you guys think. What I will say is that no matter what, I do expect whatever the non-duelist character of these two is to be the first one to debut. So I think that it'll probably be Rogue, and she most likely will end up being like a tank or something like that, just because I think that the community would be absolutely furious if they went ahead and released Daredevil and then immediately released another duelist. The community already feels at large that there are too many duelists in this game and not enough tanks and strategists. So I think that it would be very smart for them to go ahead and release the tank or strategist character first, and then if one of these two is a duelist, debut that character with season 5.5. So yes, next we're going to talk about the absolute monstrosity that is Dog Brother X. I mean, even the name is horrific, but this honestly is kind of indefensible. I think that this is one of the ugliest skins that they have ever done, period, bar none. This is going to be the brand new skin, the final skin that will be debuting in the shop before the shop refreshes for season number 5. And honestly, they're, in my opinion, going out on a stinker. I don't want to go on ahead and rant about this one too much, because I'm sure there's someone, maybe, somehow, who actually thinks that this skin is legitimately cool looking. But congratulations to you. I hope you enjoy it. It will run you 1,600 units. It is the epic rarity skin. Enjoy the Dog Brother X, and yeah. But on a more positive note, that is actually not all that will be included in this week's update. It is a very small update, Usually these final updates before a brand new season update rolls out are very small and not particularly exciting, so this is definitely the same thing. But I would also argue that this one is probably even less exciting because of the previously mentioned somewhat ugly skin for Wolverine that we'll be releasing, but I'm not going to rant about that too much. On the bright side, they did go ahead and extend the Marvel Zombies event. So if you've missed out or haven't had a chance to play it much or complete it all the way through to the highest difficulty, you will now be able to do so all the way up until December 5th, which means that Marvel Zombies will actually be around even well after season number 5 debuts. So that's pretty dang exciting. Again, if you're one of the people that have been working towards trying to complete the mode, you're going to be able to have plenty more time to do so. The other cool thing is that they are introducing a slew of buffs across the board for the different characters in Marvel Zombies. So you can go into the nitty-gritty details if you'd like on the actual website, but essentially for the most part, most of the characters are getting buffed, especially when it comes to Thor. He seems to be the one that's getting the biggest buff, which makes sense because he's not particularly popular or useful in the Nightmare 2, 3, or 4 categories, with most people just pretty much predominantly playing as Blade and or Punisher. So across the board, there's going to be some reworks there. So that's pretty dang exciting. And then the final piece of information that I wanted to discuss in today's quick Marvel Rivals video is the fact that the folks over at XOX Leak have gone ahead and seemingly hinted that we are indeed going to be getting a collector's theme park specific map. Now, of course, we know that the collector's theme got introduced this past week with Marvel Rivals introducing the Man Spider skin, where in the background we actually saw the collector's town in the background. But now XOX Leak has gone ahead and shared like a 3.5-minute video of a bunch of voice lines that are specifically hearing our heroes interacting with different things on the map and making references to the collector's theme park. So could this actually be the map that will be debuting with season 5? Will we get a collector's themed map? And then of course, either Rogue or Gambit debuting along with it. Oh, and I would be remiss not to specifically play this one voice line from XOX Leak.
I think I've finally stabbed you in the head one too many times.
Yes, could that be Wolverine talking to an actual Deadpool that has been captured by the Collector? And that might give some of you guys a little bit of deja vu. Remember another character that was captured by another character on a map? Last time, that was Blade being captured by Dracula. He was then freed, and of course now he's a playable character on the roster. Could the same cycle be repeated with Deadpool? Maybe he has been captured by the Collector, only to then be freed and ultimately become a playable character, let's say in season number 6. That would be pretty dang exciting, especially because obviously Deadpool is such a hugely popular character. I feel like that would be a great jolt in the arm of the popularity of Marvel Rivals and would really set this game ablaze in terms of popularity once again. So there you go, guys. Not the biggest update, but an exciting one nevertheless. We've got details on the brand new map for season number 5. We've got details on, of course, both heroes now in Gambit and Rogue. It's no longer a rumor. Those are the 2 playable characters that we will see. We just don't know what the order of the characters will be, nor do we know what class they will end up being. But if you have ideas, leave your predictions down in the comment section below. Once we have the official trailer debut, we'll do a breakdown of all the details there and everything that we can expect for season 5. In the meantime, like I always say, thank you guys so very much for watching. Thank you guys so very much for leaving a like on today's video. And I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Peace out. See you later, alligators.